Okay.
What?
I'm sorry, I didn't hit record. You're good. Go for it now. Go for your foot. You're
I
good.
was so ready. Are you recording?
Yes. I misclicked.
All right. Welcome back, guys, to the final episode of the Otaku Brothers Podcast. My name is Ben. I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
I was gonna say, scared me, Ben.
No,
For the blue, so
not
sudden.
until I'm dead, or I have children, maybe. Anyways, 101, right? This is 101.
Yes, this is 101. Triple
Welcome
digits.
to Anime 101 with Ben and Joseph. Wow, it's weird. We're in the triple digits.
We are.
My shoulder hurts.
I'm sorry.
Wow, what to do?
Just
Feels different.
keep on chugging, man. That's what we gotta do.
It's like the teens.
The terrible teens.
Then we have to hit the quad digits.
Oh God. Not think about that for a while.
That'll be fine. Yeah, welcome back, everyone. And of course,
Ben, you
Why?
need to. Ben, okay. Well, this is a good segue, guys.
I'm just gonna do this. I don't even care.
Ben recently just got into photography and got a new, very expensive camera that he showed off on the podcast a couple episodes ago. And I think, Ben, you should try and use it for one of the episodes. You should try setting it up.
You know what?
Uh-oh.
You know what? I can.
Uh-oh.
Maybe I'll do it after. I'll show you after. I don't want to mess
Yeah.
with it during the episode.
No, you're totally
But yeah, no, it came. I've gotten. There's an HDMI port in it, and you can hook it up to your computer
Oh, yeah, I bet.
somehow.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Then you can be actually official. Sorry, I
Yeah.
put an ice cube in my mouth. That was probably not a smart idea for the podcast. But,
Why?
you know, it messes with the voice.
The voices? You're schizophrenic?
All right, well, like Ben said, we're in triple digits. Welcome back, everybody. We got a great show for you all today. Ben, I think we should start off with a fun topic. It's something that you and I are both very passionate about. And that is the fact that One Piece is going on hiatus till April of 2025, Ben. April.
It's gonna be good. It's gonna be great.
I
I don't need someone in my ear every week being like, "Oh, look at this animation cut. Like, look at this. Look how cool this is."
you know
We get it, dude.
We get it, man. Yeah.
Let's get a better story. Like,
No, yeah, but in
A
all
bit of hot
seriousness,
take.
guys, in all seriousness, One Piece is going on hiatus till April 2025. That's kind of a big deal, I feel like. So I know my One Piece fans have been eating good for a while, or so they say. I wouldn't know. I've never tried vomit, but yeah. So just kidding. I'm sorry. We gotta stop with that, dude. They're gonna come after us.
do we?
But yeah, so One Piece is going on hiatus for a bit. It's something to take note of, especially with, it's kind of interesting how My Hero JJK just ended, and now One Piece the anime is going on hiatus. So you know, a lot of stuff taking on pauses, a lot of more opportunities for new shows to come out and show their colors and just show why they deserve to be up with the big leagues. So it's going to be exciting to see if any other shows within that span come out swinging and make a name for themselves. So I'm excited, Ben, personally, because obviously we've been covering 5 shows. Finally, we're fully in October, Ben, so we're covering 5 shows, and we got some good stuff to talk about there. But yeah, just something interesting to take note of about One Piece ending, or not ending, but going on hiatus. And along with that, Ben, apparently there was some news about, I'm confused. You probably know more about this. It said that there was like a One Piece fan movie or something like that. I don't know what it's. Do you know what that is exactly?
Never heard of that.
Nope.
I have
Great.
not.
Okay. Well, there's apparently a thing called. Let me see if I can look it up right now. Actually, it's called like.
How about One Piece?
No. It's literally, it's a movie that's coming out on Netflix, I think. Called One Piece Fan Letter, is what it's called. It's a series of official side stories which are from the perspective of normal citizens whose lives were influenced by the Straw Hats. So yeah.
Interesting.
That's
Not be watching.
Yeah,
but
we'll be
that's cool.
watching. So that's coming out. Just something interesting to take note of. But yeah, so there is some One Piece news going on, as well as we got some more info about season 2, which I don't think we've really covered, but they're just announced more cast, things like that. So exciting
Yeah.
stuff if you're a One Piece fan, which we wouldn't know anything about. So there you go. But Ben, I'm tired of talking about One Piece. How have you been, dude? We haven't, I guess, yeah. How have you been? We haven't really done that in a while. What have you been up to?
Uh, I don't know. Just living, I guess.
Well, we gotta hang
Adulting.
out. We saw each other. That
We
was
did get to
fun.
hang out. It was a
Mm-hmm.
great seeing you.
It was a fun time. So yeah, we both had a
That's a
little
word.
break from our busy lives, and we got to hang out in person. It's been a minute, discuss some money moves, some big things coming. So um,
Right? Yeah, there's some music in the works too.
oh yeah, lots of it, lots of it. Some collabs
Lots of
with
it.
I don't want to spoil any collabs, but let's just say talk to for
All
some more
right, so you can
info.
drop it. You can drop it now, Joseph.
So yeah, no, we gotta hang out.
Joseph loves that word.
It's a fun word, dude. It just rolls off the tongue. Um, yeah. So
I was
yeah.
expecting you to segue that into a joke somehow.
Oh, I was thinking about it, but I decided not to.
No,
So yeah.
good for you.
Yeah, we gotta hang out. That was a good time. But yeah, I'm trying to think of anything noteworthy we did that's worth sharing, which I don't think there is, to be honest. So that was fun. But just exciting stuff. October's here. Sports. This is like peak time for sports, at least for American sports. I don't know about Ben being a
Hmm.
big soccer fan and all that, but yeah. So that was a good time. But one thing I did want to talk about, Ben, before we get into our 5 shows, right off the bat, is that we got to talk about Look Back. We both got to
Oh
see
yeah.
it. We didn't see it together, unfortunately, but we both got to watch it last weekend. But unfortunately, I think it came out during the day we were doing our 100th episode with Weezums, so we didn't really get to talk about it because he hadn't seen it. But now we get to fully talk about it. It's been a while. It's been out for about a week and a half here in the States. So
Mhm.
it was very, very awesome. It's been getting extended theatrical releases in the US, which has been awesome to see the support that it's been
Oh
getting.
really?
Yeah, so it's getting more dates, and it's been doing really well at the box office for its budget and for what it was expecting.
Yeah.
So it's very cool. But yeah, Ben. I mean, let's just before we just really deep dive into it, what was your initial thoughts? I mean, obviously we had both read it before, but it had been some time for me, so I'm not gonna lie. I forgot most of it until I saw it on screen and was like, I remember all of this now. So
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't remember. The only thing I really remembered about the story was that they were both manga artists.
hmm
Um, and I didn't want to kind of. I wanted the movie to tell me the story again. I didn't want to have to read it. This fucking camera. I don't know what I'm just doing. Ew, you guys can deal with it. I didn't want to remember what was going on. Like I said, I wanted to experience it again. It was really good. Like it was really good. I think the direction, like the director, the way he animated it and interpreted the story was really good. Um, I really liked I always love seeing how things are made, and I really enjoyed the end piece showing, where it shows the director walking through like why he did some things.
hmm
Um, and it felt good, you know. I mean, the story felt fresh. The animation was really clean. The music was awesome.
Yes, the music was good.
Um, it was good. Like it's just good, solid story,
hmm
and like I don't know. I feel like it's hard to do something like that. I feel like it being animated helps a lot. I feel like it's hard to do something like that not being animated because you get to kind of create everything, and that molds the story into what you're trying to portray and
Yeah,
tell the audience. And it's really something you have a lot of free will and use your creativity with in animation. But I really liked it. It was really good. I'm glad it got an adaptation. I really enjoyed all the Chainsaw Man references.
yes, yes.
Pissing me off. It's pissing me off.
So, no, yeah, I think the Chainsaw Man references were awesome. But kind of just to start and go off what you were saying, I think one of my favorite parts too was the interview at the end, and that's something that I think was very cool seeing, especially comparing it to Don to Don. I really like how they did the interview and all that stuff at the end of the movie.
Yeah.
It was so much better. I don't get why Don to Don had to do theirs at the beginning, but
No.
it works so much better at being at the end, especially because it kind of brings you back to a refreshing spot after you get hit with the climactic ending of the story.
Mm-hmm.
So it was very nice to have that. But it was just also refreshing, like you said. I feel like every time we've gone to see an anime movie recently, it's been, although Dandadan was, I guess, new content, it's all from an anime, it's from a show. It's nothing like a Studio Ghibli movie, because I think the last time I saw an original work like that, of just a movie was, I think The Boy and the Heron. So it was
Mm-hmm.
very refreshing to get. I really wish they did more of them, man. Look Back was great. Tatsuki Fujimoto cooked. I kind of was in the same boat. I just remember that they were both manga artists, and that I remembered that one was jealous of the other, and that they were competing, that type of beat. So I remember that much. But besides that,
Yeah.
I remembered that something happened, like a death, but I forgot how it happened, and I was like, wow, yeah. It's very crazy, man. You could tell Tatsuki Fujimoto loves to throw in those dark themes just out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It's very cool seeing the parallels to Chainsaw Man and his other works, Fire Punch and stuff like that as well. But I will say the going off of what you said about the interviews and the animation and the coolest thing that we learned, I was so proud of myself for catching this detail, because I was like, that's very interesting, and I wonder if it was a mistake, but it was very cool to see that it was intentional. And that being, I noticed whenever Fujino, the main character, whenever she was sitting at her desk drawing, sometimes her hand would like, it would be like right, I guess, where her chest sat. Um,
Yeah.
and you'd be able to see like her hand through her body, like the outlines of her hand. And I was like,
Oh
oh,
yeah.
I was like, when I first saw that in theaters, I was kind of like, oh, that's weird. I wonder if they just kind of like, if it, I was just like, that's interesting. I wonder why it's like that. And then at the end, it was very cool to see the director kind of say, yeah, this was intentional. That it was trying to be more drawn and manga panel like esque, and just give off that drawing feel. I think he also said that's why they kind of tried to add like a lot of strokes to the background and things like that to make it seem more like a
Yeah.
painting. So I was very proud of myself for being like, okay, I see what you're doing there. So, and just to hear him clarify that was very cool. But yeah, it was great overall, like you said. The hand, yeah. So yeah, just kind of seeing how the hand was drawn was very cool, and just all of that was very fascinating. And just I mean, the way that the director was able to bring it to life and just describe everything was very cool, because I think Tatsuki Fujimoto does such a good job of like kind of almost giving him like a layup or alley oop in a way, to use a sports analogy.
Mm-hmm.
But just because I think Tatsuki Fujimoto already with his works takes a lot of inspiration from Western media and Western films specifically. So I mean that is very
Yeah.
clear throughout his look back, especially Goodbye Eri. But yeah, it was. I think he does a great job. I really love how they animated the scene where Fujino's running through the field, and then she kicks up the water. She's skipping. She's happy, excited, and there's just no words. It's all music. I think that was executed very well, and I think it definitely brought
Mm-hmm.
Fujimoto's vision to life really well. Especially with it kind of being a story that is a semi autobiography. Obviously, Ben, I don't know if you saw or not, but Fujino Kimoto, which are the two girls, if you combine their last names or their names, it gives you Fujimoto. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's obviously some inspiration from his life, but it was just refreshing to see an original story like that. It was great, and obviously that becomes more clear when you look at all the references to Shark Kick, which is the Chainsaw Man ripoff.
Yeah.
But it was very cool. I didn't realize how much they would actually like reference and show. There was some stuff from the
There's a lot.
anime or from the manga that hasn't even been animated yet. Like we get the famous scene of Denji and Reze kissing,
Yeah.
and I was just like, that's wow. Or
There's-
the panel of the door, which is like the thing that she's painting. I was like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So, yeah, it was just it was great. It was good. It seemed like a very personal story for Fujimoto, and I think
Mhm.
he's very happy with how it turned out. The directors seemed like they very much cared about this project, and I mean, for it only being an hour runtime, it went by pretty or it felt pretty long, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Um, like it felt good long. Like I was like, wow, they really were able to fit a lot into this for just an hour time. So I was very happy with it. It was great.
Mhm.
I think the characters were excellent. The voice acting was great, especially since I think one of them where I think pretty much both of them were unknown actors. So it was good.
Yeah, I think one of them she said it was her first time voice acting.
Yeah.
Um, and the other one for Kiyomito, they said they chose her because her voice sounded kind of like a what a shutout or a shut-in would sound like,
Hmm.
which was funny.
Yeah.
Uh, but yeah, I really liked. I don't know, because whenever it comes to Fujimoto's art, I don't like in Chainsaw Man. Sometimes I don't like his art style, but I feel like this movie really brought out his art style a lot, and I really enjoyed it. Um, which I don't sometimes, which is interesting.
What about his art style? I'm just curious because I really like it, but I was just curious what parts.
I don't know, it just looks. I don't like how he does faces sometimes.
Really? Oh, interesting.
Yeah,
Okay.
but I think this adaptation really brought it out,
Hmm.
and I really enjoyed the way it looks.
Yes.
Um,
I think there's one scene in particular that does that very well, and it's the scene with Fujino when she like gets that text message, um, or she reads that message, and like it was the like shot for shot from the manga panel. It looked very
yeah,
good,
yeah.
and I think they executed it very well. So I do agree. I
I
think the
think
art was good.
I think the style that they animated it in is like it fits his art style really well.
Hmm.
Um, because whenever Mappa did it, I don't know, it still looked good. Don't get me wrong,
Yeah.
but I don't know. It didn't feel like
It did seem a little
Fujimoto.
more, yeah, it does seem a little more 2D, not too, a little more flat. Whereas I think the thing about Fujimoto is that he really likes to have a lot of lines and
Yeah,
stencils, especially in the eyes. The eyes are very much like, kind of just scribbles, which works really well for what he's trying to do. So yeah, that is
yeah.
that is a big difference between Mappa and this. But no, I agree. I think it shined very well here. And I really hope that we get to see more of his works adapted, whether that be Fire Punch or Goodbye Eri. If Goodbye Eri got animated, oh my goodness. We even got an homage to that, though, in this movie as well, with the scene, the climactic ending of that one with the hospital blowing up, with the person
Yeah.
walking away from it. He loves his explosions. So that was very cool.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I think overall it was a great, great time. Great story. Yeah, the music, like Ben said, was so
Hmm.
good. Oh my goodness, it was great. Yeah, I think it was awesome, and I mean, just the story itself is so depressing and sad, and I mean, it kind of just that is something that Fujimoto loves to talk about in all of his works. I mean, not to get morbid or anything, but the topic that they discuss of a man going to a school, harming the students. It's obviously something that's very prominent here, fortunately in the U.S. And then I mean, you see that kind of themes throughout Chainsaw Man as well, with the gun devil and things like
Hmm.
that. And Fire Punch is very prominent as well, probably the most out of any of them. So it's interesting how he's does such a good job of turning stories that aren't really anything spectacular into such deep themes. You know,
Yeah.
so I think that's really cool. He's a great author all around, and I'm very excited to see what else he creates after Chainsaw Man, or actually that's yeah, Chainsaw Man chapter comes about tomorrow, so that'll be exciting after a 2 week hiatus. So it's gonna be a good time to be a Fujimoto fan. So yeah, hopefully we'll see. Apparently, the director came out and said that they didn't have any plans to do a Goodbye Eri adaptation. So, um, who knows? Maybe something will happen with that. I'm sure. And I
Yeah.
think I think Mappa has even said that they want to do more of his stuff. But I don't know. I kind of
Hmm.
prefer if Mappa didn't do it. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. But regardless, it was a great film. Definitely go watch it. We don't want to spoil too much about it. It's definitely something that you all should watch for yourselves. Even if you know what the main kind of general idea about the film is, just go watch it for yourself. It's a great
Hmm.
time. It's definitely better than Joker 2. So yeah. But I will say,
Yeah.
Ben, animated movies are cooking right now. Apparently, The Wild Robot came out, and it's apparently people are saying like one of the best animated movies ever. It's like apparently up there with
Hmm.
like Wall-E. So I'm
Wow.
I'm very excited to go watch it. I need to go see it, and it got confirmed for a sequel already. So there you go. Money talks, money talks. But yeah. So That's Look Back. It's a great story. Anything else, Ben, you would like to say about it?
The more that I watch animated things, the more I realize like this is something that someone made from scratch. And I think just like realizing that makes me appreciate it a lot more,
Yes, I definitely.
especially with the detail that we were talking about earlier with the hand and I think it was talking about how it shows the process of the strokes between
Yep.
frames,
Hmm.
and like whoever's animating it and like their thought process, that's what that shows. Because a lot of studios nowadays, and even in just like normal videography, people like whenever, like for example, in videography, whenever you're slowing something down, if you slow a video down like and it's at a set frame rate, if you slow it down enough, like it'll skip frames,
Hmm.
but you can put um kind of like image warping, so it'll make its own frames and add in between, and it kind of just looks weird. um and a lot of animated studios do that too, where if they want higher frame rates, they'll just use AI to kind of um do it itself, which is kind of just, I don't know, it doesn't seem natural, I guess, is what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
But the way that this was directed, it really showed that like someone sat down and took their time to, draw everything, especially with the background.
Hmm.
The backgrounds, I thought that
Yes.
was a cool thing, especially since Kiyomoto's whole thing was background art.
Yes. Yep.
Um, it kind of just, whenever she mentions that, it kind of just makes you like sit, and then every once in a while you'll focus on the background. At least that's what I did.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, very good.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch it again.
I know. I agree. I think, like you said, it's just it is one of I think this movie just proves why I think art is one of the greatest forms of media, and I
Hmm.
think that it's very clear throughout Look Back, especially. I think if you're into art, this will be something that you very much appreciate. I think that this can be
Yeah.
said for a lot of recent animated movies, and it's so interesting and just awesome to see so many different styles showcased, especially just as recently as like the past few movies that we've gotten. I mean, look at Dawn to Dawn and what Science Saru did. It's very cool, man, but very different as well. I mean, the art style is very different, but it still is able to tell a story that fits it really well. Because I mean, it's so cool how that they're able to make that work. Because I mean, just imagine watching Look Back in like Science Saru's like animation style, and
Hmm.
I'm just like, I don't know if this would work well, or that would like you could say that with like any of these stuff with like Hirohiko Araki's and JoJo's art style. It's like that'd be very
Yeah.
weird, but it's just cool to see how they use it as a way to tell their own story, and that it just
Hmm.
somehow works. So that's very cool and something that I really really admire and appreciate most about manga, and why I love anime so much. So if that's something that you're into, definitely go watch Look Back. A great time, and yeah, it was a great experience. Excited to see what else Tatsuki Fujimoto has up his sleeve in the future. So that's something to look forward to. But Ben, without further ado, is it
One
time?
last thing.
Oh, okay, go for it.
I remember when after we first watched it, um, I was telling Joseph the reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, and it's still at 100%
Oh
on the
wow,
tomato meter, and the audience rating is 98. That's very good.
that's impressive. That is
It
so
is.
awesome. I'm really glad to hear that. Oh, that makes me so happy, man. Um, it's very cool. Shout out Rotten Tomatoes for that one. But yeah, I'm excited to see. Hopefully, it makes a lot of money. That I think this is something very needed by the anime community to make sure that they see that this is something that is sustainable and something that is possible to do.
Hmm.
Why is it when I looked up Rotten Tomatoes? There it is. I was trying to pull it up to see myself. Yeah, very impressive. Very impressive. One Piece season one, the live action got a 95% from its audience,
Wow.
and 85 on the tomato meter. Don't know why that came up. But yeah, so very cool. Especially Ben. I don't know, since we're on the topic of animation and art, I don't know how I've been seeing it all over my Twitter or not Twitter, TikTok feed recently. The Pharrell Williams like documentary that came out, the Piece by Piece Lego movie. It's actually really cool.
Yeah.
I really like how he did a Lego documentary. I've seen so many clips on my TikTok feed, and
Hmm.
it looks the way that he was able to tell his story through Legos. I think is really creative. And I think it was very impressive. So yeah, that just
I
goes to show
honestly
you again.
wasn't like expecting much from it, to be
Hmm.
honest.
Yeah,
But
no, but
I mean, if it's good, that's cool.
it was cool. It was fun. I thought it was unique. But yeah,
Hmm.
just another side note. Another way people use their creative skills. So yeah, that was very impressive. But animation overall is just a very cool thing. Um, so yeah. But without further ado, guys, like I was saying, Ben and I have watched 5 shows, 5 episodes of 5 shows. It is fall. It is the fall 2024 season, and I'm excited. We have a lot to talk about, Ben. I don't even know where to start. So the show's recovering Dragon Ball, Blue Lock, Blue Box, Bleach, Don. I guess we could start with Don just because I mean, really, if you want our more in-depth breakdown of it, go to our episode where we watched the first movie because that's pretty much what the movie was. It was watching the first 3 episodes, so we've kind of given our
Hmm.
thoughts and stuff on it, but overall, more of just the same goodness from Don. I think. Um, it's so fun. I think it's great. The intro's amazing, outro's great, and just seeing Momo and Okarun interact is
Yeah.
is is peak. It's peak. It's the ship we need. So
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's hard to
mhm,
like say what's the word, like bad things about it or
mhm,
find things that are wrong with the show so far. Because it's really good. I think they do pretty much everything really well.
mhm.
Uh, I like how fast paced it is because it just kind of throws you into the story.
Yes,
Um, the characters are awesome. Their designs are awesome. The coloring is awesome. I mean, it's a very well rounded show,
it is.
and it's hard to not like it.
Yes, the cast is great, and it only gets better once we get introduced to the grandma. More about Turbo Granny, Gigi, and Asaria. I always forget her name, but it starts with an A. So she's great. They're all great. It's gonna be a great season. Just in the matter of time, we'll probably just kind of yeah. That's pretty much it. It was a great
Yeah.
episode. It follows them whenever they're fighting the sumo alien, and I think the animation is so good. We talked about in the movie recap. um, it was great. I love the colors, the way they're able to switch it. The comedic timing is great. It's fun. It's just a fun story. So we're looking forward for
Hmm.
more of it here. So it's very great. But yeah, Ben, that was Dawn to Dawn. Kind of our quick little review of it. But what do you want to talk about next, Ben? What are you thinking? Should we do Daima? You want to get into the
Let's do Daima. Yeah.
Daima? Okay. So this is Dragon Ball Daima. It is the first episode of the not reboot, but just a new series that apparently is canon, and it takes place after the Majin Buu saga, and then before the Super Saiyan or Super Saga. So kind of before Battle of the Gods, and then after Dragon Ball Z and the Majin Buu fight. And we kind of get a recap of everything at the beginning from the perspective of the new Demon King, and his friend, and it was just great to be back in Dragon Ball, Ben. I didn't know how much I missed it until I was actually watching it. And obviously you
Yeah.
started playing the game again, or started playing the new game, Sparkling Zero.
Hmm.
So I mean, it was just great getting to see Vegeta, Goku. It was interesting watching it in Japanese because I think I pretty much only watched it dubbed up until the oh my god, Tournament of Power arc in Super because that wasn't in English yet. But um,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean it was great. The animation's really clean. Uh, it was awesome. Goku, just seeing him he did the iconic pose, right? He did the thing where he
Yeah.
does the so it was awesome. It was great. Kind of just got a lot of setting up this episode, and then we finally get the reveal at the end where they're changed into children. So it looks like it's just gonna be fun. It looks like it's not gonna take itself too seriously. It's gonna be just like a wacky, fun adventure. It was good.
Hmm.
It was good. It was fun getting to see all the characters back in action again. Getting to see Goku, Vegeta, Trunks, Gohan. So it was good.
Yeah, this is the first time I've like ever watched a Dragon Ball show like while it's releasing. I never watched Super.
Hmm.
Um, and like the original Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z that was already all finished, and
Hmm.
then GT was all finished. So it's I don't know. It's kind of weird to me. I'll have to get used to it. But yeah, I've only ever seen any Dragon Ball content in dub.
Hmm.
God, that's great. So hearing everyone in sub is really weird to me. Especially Vegeta sounded really weird.
Yeah, Vegeta did sound
Um,
weird, and Krillin.
yeah, Krillin. I don't know. It's definitely gonna take a minute for me to adjust to.
Hmm.
Maybe they
It's fair.
maybe it released with the dub because I feel like
I don't.
Dragon Ball is the one show that you should not watch in sub. At least that's my opinion. Because it's such a good dub.
Hmm. Yeah, it's got a
Uh,
stacked cast. I mean, Christopher Sabat as Vegeta and Piccolo, and then
yeah,
Sean. Oh, I forget his last name. Sean something.
Shemel.
Yeah, as Goku is very iconic. So
Yeah,
it's a great show, or a great series. Ben, did you say you haven't watched Super?
I know literally everything that happens in it, but I just
You just never
never
watched it.
watched it.
Wow,
Yeah,
interesting. Did you watch GT or anything like that?
I did that. I
That's
guess I did watch GT when it was releasing as a kid.
wow. I never
I
watched
enjoyed GT. I
GT.
don't know.
Um, yeah, I never watched
Fine, it's
GT.
fun.
I watched. I've only watched Z and Super. I never watched the
Yeah,
original, and then I haven't watched GT. But yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was just cool getting to be back in the universe. Honestly, it's not something that I'm gonna sit here and be very critical on. I kind of know what to expect
yeah.
from it. It seems like the fact that they're not going the direction of continuing Super right now, kind of to me signals
David.
that they're just kind of trying to do a fun little side wacky story. We're not too high stakes. Obviously, it kind of seems that way. I mean, the villains kind of seem like they are not the brightest, and that it's just kind of in fun. So yeah, I mean, I'm just here for a good time, here to see some good fights, hopefully, and maybe some other side characters to shine more. That's one thing that I really liked that they did with the superhero movie, getting to see Gohan and
Yeah,
Piccolo, kind of shine more, especially Gohan with how underutilized he felt after the Cell Saga. So I'm just excited to be back in Dragon Ball the universe. It's always a good time. It always it kind of always just puts a smile on my face being there. It's just
hmm,
especially with the sad passing of Akira Toriyama. Um, I mean, you just kind of you feel heartwarming watching the show and just seeing that his vision's living on, and just kind of it just puts me in a good mood watching it. I mean
yeah,
the character designs, it's all very cartoony. It does very seem more like a kids show with low stakes, so which I'm fine with. It's very refreshing, especially with going into Bleach and then stuff like Blue Box. So with a lot more real themes. So it's a nice little refresher. That's why I'm so glad. I really love this season because I feel like we have such a good mix, which is rare, I think, especially last season. So
yeah,
I really just it was fun. It was a good show, a good time. If you want something lighthearted and fun, I think you guys should go check it out. But we'll see how it goes from here. I don't know. I don't really know how many episodes it's listed for, or how long it's supposed to be. But um, yeah, we'll be watching. Definitely be watching. I think yeah, I'm excited. So that's what I gotta
yeah.
say about
I
Dragon
was
Ball.
reading into it whenever it got announced, and
Hmm.
Toriyama he wrote the main story for this
Yes.
and all the character designs and stuff. So this is like his last piece of work, really, because the he whatever's happening in Super right now, he didn't work on.
Oh wow.
Um, it's someone else drawing it
Hmm.
and writing the story. I think he's just supervising it, or he was. So maybe this is why. Maybe that's why they chose this route for Daima, just to
Maybe.
showcase his last work, and then maybe we'll get more super stuff.
I hope so. I'm very excited. I've heard some stuff that happens in the super manga that's pretty cool. So, yeah, I'd be very interested to see where it goes from here. So,
Hmm.
I'm excited. But, yes. So, Ben, if you don't have anything else to say about Daima, what show do you want to tackle next? What are you thinking? Could do Blue Box? You want to do Blue Box?
Sure. Yeah, we'll do
Okay.
Blue Box.
So, I don't know about you, Ben, but I've really been enjoying Blue Box. Um, it was definitely something that I was like, okay, we'll watch it just because. Um,
Yeah.
we heard good stuff about it, but I think I'm kind of bought into it now. Um, I'm really liking the relationship. It seems like there's maybe a love triangle, maybe something going on here between
Yeah.
the main character who's a badminton player and then our main girl who's a basketball player, and then we also get this other girl who's introduced. I think her name's Hina, who is who's a dancer, a ballet dancer, a gymnast, a gymnastics dancer, something along those lines. But it's very cool, especially since I don't know. I just watched Kuroko no Basket. We're watching Blue Lock as well. I feel like we haven't seen Batman, and it's pretty cool. Getting to see a more grounded story out of the bunch of shows. Kind of how we were talking about
Yeah.
look back and just kind of focusing more on real themes. It seems very very grounded, but also
Uh-huh.
very compelling. I really love the animation. I think this is, dare I say, the best animated show this season that we're watching. I really like the animation. I
I
think
wouldn't
it's really good.
say I wouldn't say the animation's good. It's just kind of the art style
Yeah, maybe the art
and the
style.
way
I
it's
guess
drawn.
that's probably a better word for it.
Um,
So,
but yeah, no, in terms of that, I think it is the best looking
mhm.
show of the season so far.
Yes,
Hopefully it doesn't fall off. I know a lot of shows like to do that where they get everyone hooked in the first couple episodes, and
yes.
then
At Uzumaki.
it just kind of, well, Uzumaki's a different story because they completely changed studios.
Yes, that's right. I did hear that's what they said.
But some shows tend to do that, which is kind of annoying.
Mhm.
Um, but I think directors who care about the show, they'll just kind of stick with, I don't know, something that looks good for the entire series.
Mhm.
So hopefully Blue Box does that. But yeah, no, it is really good. The first episode I wasn't as hooked until the ending, and then I'm not gonna lie, I forgot that we had to watch it this week. But after watching it, it was good. Um, yeah, yeah.
So yeah, but
I don't know. I have a love hate relationship with romance shows,
oh Ben, oh
so we'll
Ben,
see.
you poor
We'll
thing,
see.
you poor thing. So yeah, no, it was great. The episode follows our main boy as he is kind of getting comfortable and with the situation of him living with this female now who's his age, and as they're getting ready to go into high school and do high school sports, which is crazy to say that they're in middle school, but regardless, it was very good getting to see the high school drama dilemmas that they usually tackle, and then we get hit with the big reveal at the end where this girl is talking with a guy, but you know how romance shows are, that could mean anything, literally anything. So I don't hold my breath, but I really like the dynamic between the two. It seems like it's going to be a romance show where they are very good friends as well, which I really like. It seems like they have a lot in common. They're both very driven about sports, and whereas you get something like a My Dress Up Darling where it's a little bit more fan servicey, but there's a lot more of that tension. This one seems like it's going to
Hmm.
be a little bit more friends becoming lovers, hopefully, or something along those lines, which I'm excited for.
Hmm.
It seems very good, and I'm curious to see if this love triangle thing develops, especially with the gymnast girl kind of seeming like she's just friendly, but maybe that she has ulterior motives and she's also kind of into the main guy. So who knows?
Yeah.
Very curious to see where it goes. But it's awesome, and then like I said, just seeing the whole sport element of it. I think getting to see somebody play badminton, which is a sport that as somebody who works at a gym, it's I've seen people get badminton, and I'm like, really? But I get it now. So, um,
Batman's pretty big
Is it actually?
at my school, at least whenever I went, like they like in the inside gyms, they would rent out like 3 whole courts
Oh wow,
twice a week or
3?
something.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and they'd have like tournaments. It was crazy.
Yeah.
People get like really into it too.
No, yeah, fair enough. So yeah, it's very cool getting to see that whole culture, especially with the gymnast side as well. I think there are some ballet animes and dancing animes, but I don't know. It's something that I haven't really been exposed to as somebody who's just a big, sports fan of like the major sports in the U.S. like basketball, football, baseball. I never really think about badminton or gymnastics much. So it's very cool change of pace. But yeah, like I said, it's definitely very fun. And I don't know, after going to Japan with Ben, getting to watch the show, it did definitely bring a lot back, a lot of memories back, which was fun. Getting to see like them walking at the end of the episode toward like in that like outdoor like mall type area,
Yeah.
which was I was like, oh, I remember when we were like in a place like that, or whenever she's showing him the weekly Shonen Jump magazine, and I was like, oh my god, I remember like seeing how all the pages, the sections are different colors and things like that. So
Yeah.
it was cool getting to see that. So I think it's a little nostalgic, if we could even call it nostalgia yet. But yeah. So it was fun. I'm very excited to see where it goes. I have a feeling Ben's gonna get hooked, as he always does with these sort of shows, even though he hates it. But there's a reason it's good.
Yeah. That 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 place that they were walking in, I think we went there
the actual
because that
place.
roof. Yeah, because that it had like a really familiar like overhang slash roof, and I'm trying to figure out which place
See,
it
I
was.
thought that too. I think it was in Nakano. I think that's because it was by the JoJo bar. Is that what you're thinking of? Where we went?
Let me look it up.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like a lot of them are designed that way though. That's that was my
No, it
thing.
was pretty like
Oh,
fuck. I'm trying to find it.
huh? Who knows?
I'll find it later.
Yeah. Um. So yeah. Regardless, Blue Box, it's fun. I'm excited to keep up with it. It's a good change of pace, a good variety of shows to keep our interest and keep our brains turning and thinking and fresh, which is always a good time because Lord knows just getting gut punched by Bleach is it hurts the senses every so often, so that's great. But moving on to our next show, sticking with the blue, let's move on to Blue Block. I almost said Blue Box again. Blue Lock.
Yeah.
Um, so we arrive at Blue Lock. I think I'll let Ben tackle more of this, but just as a little preamble, it's we can move on to episode 2. Ben was preparing me. We looked at it, and there were quite a few dislikes on this episode, more than usual for a Blue Lock episode, and it kind of put set our expectations a bit lower. But it wasn't terrible. It wasn't bad. For those of y'all who don't know why I'd be saying that, it's because there's been this ongoing debacle with Blue Lock and its animation of that it's fallen off, like Ben was mentioning earlier, as some studios have done. So we were concerned. We were concerned, but who knows? I guess Ben, you can talk more about it.
So going into this episode, I knew it was like there's gonna be a match. We're gonna see if there's actual animation. And so I told myself, like, if I can't focus on what's going on in the story because the animation is so bad, then like I don't know. Like that's a problem. But like it wasn't too bad to a point where like I was distracted by it. Like, yeah, if you go online and you single out every moment that looks terrible, I guess it's gonna look bad. But I think watching it in a 20-minute episode, it kind of flowed together a little bit better.
Mhm.
Um, but obviously, the animation can and should be better, but it isn't, and so can't really do much about that. Um, it's not like I'm not gonna watch it. I'm still gonna watch it
Of
no matter
course.
what. So it's like there's no point in. I mean, you can complain about it, but like, there's no point in like complaining about it every week. If it's still the same. My
Well,
last hope is that they are just saving it for the actual match. Because like there has been some moments in season 1 where like they do animate it pretty well.
mhm.
And they've been working on this for 2 years, it seems like. So there's no way they spent 2 years working on 14 episodes with frames moving across the screen. But
Well,
this could be me coping, so I don't really know, but we'll see in
well,
a couple weeks.
I think this kind of brings up again the theme of of this episode, what we're kind of talking about on the podcast, that it's all up to art, and art is interpreted many different ways, and it depends on the style of the studio, and it kind of goes back to what you were saying after we watched the episode and we're comparing it to Kuroko no Basket, and I think you made a really good point where you were saying that um, it appears that the studio is kind of going more to focus on recreating the manga panels, whereas like when we
Hmm.
watched Kuroko no Basket, you kind of said and observed that hey, it turns out that they're actually focusing on in Kuroko no Basket really showcasing the movement of the sport, and how like obviously you in a manga panel can only show a point A and point B, and especially in a sports anime you have to know how the sport works and how you can get from
Yeah,
point A to point B. You can't in basketball it can look like two players are passing the ball, but obviously there's so many different ways it could have ended up in his hand from passing it. You could have
yeah.
bounced it, done a behind the back pass or something along those lines. So I think that's something that I wish we would see more of Blue Lock do, is kind of recreate more of actually sports accurate moments, and instead of just kind of just showing them dribble a little bit and pass it and then just kind of the still frame like you said where it's just sliding across the screen.
Yeah.
So I am curious to see if that is just an artistic choice, but I really don't think it is. I don't know if it should be. If it is, it's not a good one. I don't think.
No.
Like even when we watched the first Slam
I
Dunk
think
movie, it's just the flow. It flows really well, and it does look. Whenever I'm watching Blue Lock, it does feel like I'm watching panels. Whereas when I watch Kuroko no
yeah.
Basket, or like the first Slam Dunk, it seems like I'm actually watching a sports match unfold.
Yeah.
So I don't know, but luckily everything else has been good. The
I
story's
think
good, but go for it. Yeah, go for it.
I think everything boils down to the director,
Mm-hmm.
because they're the ones who choose the direction that the show's going to go in and
Yeah.
how it's going to be interpreted, each panel, blah blah blah. And it's kind of just, I don't know. It's really unfortunate that such a popular and like really good manga got handed off to this dude. Like, no offense to 8-bit, but like this is their first like major work.
Oh wow.
Like they don't have anything. They have other works, but this is like their first big one. Like everything else is pretty unknown.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so it kind of sucks that their first project had, or their first big project has had so much expectations.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I think if the match doesn't live up to those expectations, then not a lot of people will be happy.
Yeah.
But again, I think anyone who's a fan of it is still going to watch it regardless. So it just kind of like sucks, because
Yeah.
I think if it did have the style of Kuroko no Basket, it would be like infinitely more enjoyable.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah. The CG,
yeah,
but I will say that the CGI hasn't been bad. I will say they haven't used it as
I think
much, and I kind of like that.
I think they learned a lot from season 1.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there has been moments. There has been moments where they use CGI really well. Um, especially with that Chigiri scene whenever he was running.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they just kind of incorporated it a little bit better, and it looked good. It's almost didn't tell it was CGI.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, and they also, especially with the backgrounds, I know in season 1, it was a problem where kind of like each person's they would use a white background for a lot of the scenes.
Yes.
Um,
That's one thing I hated about JoJo's Part 6, bro. Oh, I
yeah,
despised it. There, it would literally just be
but
characters outlined. Sorry,
yeah,
just a little side
no, you're
note.
fine. But they used more darker. Everything seems a little bit more darker in this season. And it kind of makes things that are trying to be focused on more pop out a little bit more, which is a good change. Also, just kind of like the overall design and art style does look really different and more enjoyable than season 1. Um, Rin's goal that we saw this episode, I thought that was really enjoyable because it whatever or the panels that it was adapting for the manga, it did it pretty well.
Hmm.
Just the style that it did it in. So I'm not I have no complaints there. It's really just like in between movements and the flow of each person. It kind of just seems a little stiff,
Yeah.
which is annoying. But yeah,
No, yeah, and I think you're right. It's all
I
about
still have
how
some
the
hope.
CGI is utilized, and they're definitely utilizing it better. I mean, for example, like in Blue Box, there's CGI, but it's utilized really well. You don't even really focus on it. I think it's primarily used for all the background characters, like whenever they're playing their own sport.
Yeah,
And I think it's utilized very well. You can't really tell, and unless you focus really hard on it, which I'm not because they're just the background characters. So I think it is all about how you utilize it and you know dedicate your resources to which particular part. So I think hopefully this is a step in the right direction. Hopefully, like you said, we are hopeful here. We are optimists. We are glass half full people, and luckily, we are believing that next couple of episodes will get better. So here's hoping to that. But I'm excited to see where it
yeah.
goes. Genuinely, it was a good episode. I'm very curious to see how Isagi's going to shine, learn how to utilize his ego better. But Ben, I also had a question. I know you talked a lot when we were in Japan and just in general about Blue Lock, about the chains kind of playing a significant part. Do they actually like ever talk about them, or is it just kind of like a symbolic thing, like you said?
It's not necessarily. I mean, there's been like 2 or 3 times in the manga where it's kind of they literally show the chains on the person.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't know if you remember like me talking about them, but they represent like each person's ego
Mm-hmm.
and how it's bound to them or how they're bound by it. Um, and some people or the more important people have different like kind of styled chains, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like some people have like really thick chains, or some people have chains made of glass or really thin, small ones.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of gets covered in the manga. Um,
Interesting.
but yeah, they don't really like directly show it a
Yeah,
lot
it's sort of
in the
like just
manga,
an
but
interpretation thing that you gotta see.
yeah. Hmm.
Very cool. Awesome. Well, that was just a question I was curious about. But see, I like stuff like that. I think Blue Lock has so much potential. It's so unique compared to other sports anime. So I really want to see it do well as an anime fan and a sports anime fan. So here's hoping it works out. But yeah, moving on to Bleach, Ben. We got 3 Bs this season. So so yeah, Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War Arc, Core 3, Episode 2. Oh, Ben, I don't even I it's so weird because I really like Thousand Year Blood War Arc, but if you asked me to like explain to you what was going on, it'd be a struggle. But
Hmm.
I don't want that to take away from how good it is because it is incredible and it's been awesome. So yeah, I mean this episode we get Yuha Bach versus Ichigo, Ben. It seems like I don't even know where to start, to be honest. But it was good. It was a really good episode. It was great. And like again, I say this every single episode, but I don't see how there could ever possibly be another core of this. I don't see how it could go in any other direction. I like it. It feels like next episode should be like the last episode, or like, you know.
Uh-huh.
So I genuinely have no clue.
I'm trying to figure out what happens in the fourth core. But no, there's still a lot to come.
I bet. I bet. I just don't know how. I literally,
I mean,
I couldn't tell you.
yeah. Well, I forget what. Oh, okay, I guess next. It's hard to talk on a lot of points, but next episode is really important,
Mm,
especially for explaining how I guess things can continue.
mm,
Because in this episode, I guess spoilers for anyone who hasn't watched it yet, but um, we see that Ichigo actually ends up killing the Soul King. Um, and the Soul King, as we know, he's the person who kind of keeps the three main worlds in balance,
mm-hmm.
or I guess existing.
Yeah.
So without him, they'll all start to fall apart. Um, so yeah, as of now, the Soul Society, Hueco Mundo, and the world of the living, they're kind of slowly just, I guess, getting destroyed.
Yeah.
Um,
So, and to
so
clarify,
obviously,
sorry,
go ahead.
I was just gonna say to clarify something that when we were watching the episode, Ichigo doesn't intentionally kill him. It's because whenever he pulls out the sword, like Yuhabak put a spell or something on it, right, to control his arm and then make him do it.
Well, Ichigo didn't do it intentionally, but it was the
Correct.
Quincy blood inside of him. So whenever he touches his sword, like
Mm-hmm.
the Quincy King's sword, it kind of resonates within his blood, and his blood is kind of
Yes, that's why he glowed blue, right, and then
yeah,
acted on its
yeah.
own.
So that was all the Quincy inside of him.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so yeah, he directly killed him, but he didn't like intentionally want to, because
Mm-hmm.
his whole reason for going up there was to stop him from doing that.
Yes.
But yeah.
Well, yeah. So I mean, it is exciting. We get the fight between Ichigo and Yuhabak. Getting to hear him shout "Getsuko Tensho" was great. It was awesome. We also get to see what's going on with everybody else. We got to see Renji, Rukia, um, as well as you know, Shinji, which was cool, and all the other captains to see what's going on. We also got to check in on Kenpachi, seeing that he's being treated. So I mean, there's still, I mean, it's crazy. This is a full-on war, and it's going to be very interesting to see how these things play out, especially because it seems like the Quincy's numbers are very low, and I don't really know how they're going to be able to fight against the Soul Society people, even though they are considerably powerful. But kind of going into
Uh-huh.
speculation territory, the leader of Squad Zero, he's still alive, correct?
Yeah, but
Okay.
he has like little to no power because he has to like regain it all back,
Mm-hmm.
so he can't do much.
Yes. Well, I'm wondering if maybe someone's gonna have to take the place of the Soul King, and in order
Hmm.
to make sure that everybody stays living, or so that the worlds are able to um, continue existing simultaneously. And I
Yeah.
think if I had to guess, I feel like he's a good candidate to fulfill that role, especially since he
Hmm.
failed miserably in protecting the Soul King. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's like a burden that he'd be the one to carry if that is where the show intends to go. So that is my prediction for next episode. If in order to fix this issue, but
Hmm.
I'm very very cautious about making predictions about an anime, especially for Bleach, because I feel like I don't really. I'm as much as I try and keep up and understand what's going on, it is tough. So
Well,
there's a lot going on.
I will say you have the right idea. Like
Yeah.
someone needs to be um or someone needs to replace the Soul King's position
Yeah.
to um I guess keep everything together.
Hmm.
But who it is, I won't say.
Fair.
If it happens, I won't say.
Yeah, of course.
Um,
So, anyways,
so yeah.
just my speculation on what I think is going to happen next, or not next episode, maybe next episode, but just in the future of this core. Someone's like Ben said is going to have to replace the Soul King. I don't see it being Ichigo. I mean, maybe we could hit like a harder, like it would hit harder if it was like maybe Orihime. I could see it maybe being her, just because you know, her whole shtick has been like life and healing powers. So maybe that's her cross to carry. In this, I feel like those would be my top two picks. Who knows? Who knows? Though I don't know. I don't know much about the Soul King to say what his values were, what his power was to hold everything together. So maybe it needs to be somebody a lot more stronger. So maybe like Kenpachi. I don't know, but I think my top two picks, if we're putting down some bets, would be probably the Squad Zero guy or Hime. I think those would. I think Orihime just because one, it would hurt Ichigo, and her whole thing is healing. So who knows? And it would be sad. So that's my thoughts about that.
Okay.
But I'm excited. I'm excited to see where it goes. It's been great. It's been very fun. I'm excited to see what Ishta's up to, and how he still needs to fight Ichigo. We still need to get a fight between them two. That was teased all the way in the second core. That hasn't even been shown yet. So, I'm hoping.
I think that's this core. I don't know.
So yeah, I'm hoping that happens sooner than later.
I don't know what happens in the fourth core.
But
I actually don't know how they're gonna do another core. Because I don't know. I need to go back and see. Because I know what happens this core, and I think I know where it ends. But like that compared to what's left in the story, it doesn't feel like a lot. Definitely not enough for like 13 episodes. So we'll see. I don't know.
Maybe they'll add more original content, which who knows. But yeah, I mean, it's been enjoyable, man. Bleach has been fun. I'm really hoping we get to maybe see some of the other members that went up to the Squad Zero area with Ichigo fight, like Yoruichi. We need to get that cat form, or Hime do something, or Chad, or I forget his name, but the other guy who's with them as well, who's been there since the beginning of Bleach. It would be cool to see them maybe participate and do something more instead of just watching Ichigo. So but overall, good episode. Soul King is dead. What will happen to the Soul Society? Find out next week here on the Otaku Brothers Podcast, or just watch the episode. But yeah, I mean, that's really all I gotta say, Ben. We had some good shows this week.
We did.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see where it goes. It's gonna be exciting, and I can't wait. So yeah, I don't know anything else going on that you're thinking about.
Oh, sorry. No. I'll just say Sparking Zero is very fun. So
yes, that's right.
Go buy it. Or
I know.
Go look at it before you buy it, because $70.
There's so much stuff I want to get, Ben. I need more money. There's so much like cool things I want to get. I want to get because Black Ops 6 is coming out October 25th. Sparkling Zero looks really fun. I would be down to play with you. I want to get the Bleach manga box set. So there's a lot of wants. I want to get a hoodie too. You're talking about that. So I'm looking at some JoJo ones that are fire, but a little expensive. So I don't know, man. A lot of things going on in life, but yeah, definitely having these weekly episodes is a great time. So we're so back, dude. We're so back. I haven't felt like this since last like 2 Octobers ago. So
God,
it's been fun.
It's a long time.
It has been. So we got some stuff to look forward to, man. So yeah, I think besides that, I think I think we mentioned it with Weezums a bit, but Steel Ball Run got its confirmation for its English adaptation, which is gonna be great.
Yeah.
I'm very excited for that. So that's gonna be good.
Um. Oh. Season 7 of My Hero ended this weekend.
That's what I was gonna say. Yes, I
Was
forgot
pretty
about that.
good.
Mm-hmm.
And then season 8 is confirmed for next year, and it will be the last season.
Yes, poggers. No, I'm just kidding. No, I need to finish the season of My Hero. I need to finish it. I'm curious to see how it ends and what happens.
I think you should just rewatch the show. I think the show honestly would be a lot better if I didn't watch it seasonally.
You think so?
If I watched it all at once.
Maybe I should just restart it. And this time I'd rewatch it dubbed so I could have it on in the background.
But then you're not even. You're just like.
Well,
Just like going in.
I'm still listening. I'd still be tuning in.
Mm.
Trust. A refresher would help, though. I think a refresher would help. But you're right. Maybe I should just rewatch it. We got time. Maybe we'll do that. I'll watch it on my own and we'll just kind of see what's going on. Because yeah, I think that is definitely something that needs to be covered. As it is our
Or just like
duty.
a recap video.
Yeah, that's true. So who knows? But yeah, that's also going on. But speaking of new animated shows that are coming out, Invincible season 3 got its confirmation, as well as a big confirmation revealing that it turns out that we're not going to be having a mid-season break anymore because that was so stupid and literally pointless.
Yeah.
So I'm so happy we're just going to get the straight season 3 because oh my goodness, that was unbearable. I cannot believe they did that. That was so brutal. I hated that. I remember when it happened. I was like, why? Why on earth was this a good idea?
Yeah.
Like, who thought this would be okay? But yeah, I'm excited to see Invincible season 3 continue. That's going to be great. So a good time to be an animated show fan. There's a lot of good stuff coming out soon. So, yeah, I'm excited. Look forward to that. Looking forward to that. Let me make sure I'm not missing anything, Ben. But I think this is a good place to wrap up.
Yeah, I think it's everything I needed to discuss.
Paul George hyperextended his left knee. That's great. Good stuff.
Nice.
That's awful. But yeah. Yeah. Wow, I still can't believe One Piece is going on break for 6 months. That's crazy. In the middle of an arc too, so wild.
Interesting.
But yeah. But anyways, guys, it's a good place to wrap it up. Thank you all so much for watching this episode of the Otaku Brothers Podcast. This is episode 101. 101. What was that? That's oh my god. Hyakuichi. So thank you all so much for watching. I've been Joseph, your co-host, joined by my lovely co-host Ben. And we like anime, we love to talk about it, and we thank you all for tuning in. Tune in next week for episode 102, the sequel, because apparently this was our last episode. So, yeah.
Yeah. Otaku Brothers Shippuden.
Yes, Otaku Brothers Shippuden. Yep. So, there you go. Yeah. Look forward to that. We'll see you guys next week. Arrivederci.
Bye-bye.